Chapter 1. The night she chose him, he never thought the sound of my own name could hurt. Sorry, Alex. Anna said, her voice cold but strangely shaky. It's David. I'm with him now. The words hit me like a slap across the face. We were at Jake's birthday party, surrounded by laughter, music, and half-empty glasses of cheap wine. I stood there frozen, while she reached for David's hand right in front of me. He smirked at me like he'd just won a trophy. I blinked, trying to process it. You're kidding, right? My voice cracked. She tilted her chin up, her eyes gleaming with something that looked like triumph. No, I've made my choice. David chuckled, pulling her closer. Come on, man. Don't act surprised. You always knew she picked someone like me. The room went quiet. Conversations paused. Eyes darted to us. I could feel their stares digging into my skin. Mark whispered from behind me. Alex, just let it go, bro. But how could I, Anna? I whispered, searching her face for something remorse, hesitation, anything. After everything. After years. You just switch. She crossed her arms, almost offensive. I deserve better than waiting for you to figure out your life. David knows what he wants. You. Her eyes flicked over me, sharp and cutting. You're always stuck. I felt my throat tighten. It wasn't just rejection. It was humiliation. So that's it, I asked. That's it. Her lips curved into a smile that wasn't kind. It was the smile of someone who believes she'd won. David wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Don't worry, man. You'll bounce back. Or he leaned closer, lowering his voice, but loud enough for everyone to hear. Maybe you'll just keep begging. Some guys are born weak. A few people laughed. Sarah gasped, covering her mouth. I heard whispers. Damn, that's cold. I wanted to scream. I wanted to smash the smug look off his face. But instead, I stood there, frozen, every muscle trembling. My pride was in tatters, but some part of me refused to give them the satisfaction. I swallowed hard. I won't beg. David snorted. Sure, we'll see. Anna's eyes flickered. Just for a second, maybe she didn't expect me to say that. But then she looked away, dismissing me like I was nothing. The party moved on. But for me, the night ended right there. I walked outside, the cool air hitting me like a slap. My chest ached. My fist clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. Mark followed me out. Alex, man, I'm sorry. That was brutal. I laughed bitterly. Brutal. That doesn't even cover it. He hesitated. What are you gonna do? What was I gonna do? Run back inside, fall to my knees, and beg her to come back. That's what they expected. That's what they all expected. I shook my head. I don't know. But I won't beg. Not for her. Not for anyone. Mark looked uncertain. I just don't do anything stupid, all right? I didn't answer. On the walk home, every step felt heavy. My mind replayed the scene again and again, her hand slipping into his, the smirk on his face, the way everyone looked at me like I was pathetic. I could still hear David's voice. Some guys are born weak. I clenched my teeth. Born weak. I whispered to myself, maybe I had been. Maybe I let myself believe love was enough. That loyalty mattered, that history counted for something. But tonight, something snapped. By the time I reached my apartment, I wasn't the same person who walked into the party. I locked the door, leaned against the wall, and slid to the floor. My phone buzzed messages from Sarah, from Mark, even from Jake. I ignored them all. Then a new message popped up, from Anna. Don't take it so hard. You'll thank me one day. David's better for me. You'll see. Her words blurred in front of my eyes. Not because of tears, but because of rage. Thank her. I gripped the phone so tight it almost cracked. That's when it hit me. I couldn't change what happened tonight. I couldn't undo the betrayal. But I could decide how I'd answer it. And I wasn't going to answer with weakness. I deleted her message, blocked her number. Then, for good measure, I blocked David's too. No begging, no pleading, no tears. If they thought I was broken, they were wrong. This wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of something else. I whispered into the silence of my empty apartment, the words tasting like steel on my tongue. She thinks I'll beg, but when I'm done, she'll regret ever laughing at me. Chapter 2. Mocked and broken. The next few days were hell. Everywhere I went, whispers followed me. The betrayal spread through our circle. Like wildfire, people love drama, and I had become the star of their sick little show. At the coffee shop near campus, I heard it again. "That's him," someone muttered behind me. Yeah, the guy in a dump for David. Brutal, man. Imagine being him. Couldn't be me. I clenched my jaw, staring into my cup, pretending I couldn't hear. Then a voice cut through the chatter. "David's, Alex, didn't expect to see you here, man." I froze. Of course. He was here with Anna. They walked in together, hand in hand, her head on his shoulder like a twisted performance. I forced myself to look at them. "What do you want, David?" He grinned. "Relax. Just checking if you're okay. You know, no hard feelings." Anna's lips curled into that same cruel smile. "We didn't mean to hurt you. Not too much. Anyway." I stared at her. "You enjoy this, don't you?" She shrugged. "You were comfortable, Alex. Too comfortable. I needed more. David gives me that." "Yeah," David added with a laugh. "She needs a real man." The whole cafe went silent. Everyone was watching, waiting for me to break. I leaned back in my chair, forcing calm into my voice. "If being a real man means stabbing people in the back, then congratulations, you win." David's grin faltered for a split second, but Anna nudged him, whispering something I couldn't catch. Then she turned back to me, her eyes gleaming. "You'll come around. You always do. You don't know how to live without me." My chest burned, my pride screaming at me to fight back. But I swallowed it down. "No," I said softly, almost to myself. "I don't need you." David chuckled again. "Sure. Keep telling yourself that. We'll see how long you last before you crawl back." The whispers around us grew louder. People were smirking, waiting for the show to end. I stood up. "Enjoy the attention while it lasts," and I walked out. That night, Sarah came over. She didn't knock, just barged in like she used to when we were kids. "Alex, we need to talk," I sighed, dropping onto the couch. "I'm not in the mood." She crossed her arms. "Too bad. You can't just sit here and rot. Everyone's talking about you, and Anna, she's making it worse." I looked up, frowning. "What do you mean?" Sarah hesitated, then pulled out her phone. A photo lit up the screen: Anna and David kissing, with a caption that read, "Upgraded from a boy to a man." My stomach twisted. She posted that. Sarah nodded, her eyes softening. "She wants you to react. She wants you to look weak." I rubbed my temples. "Then I won't give her what she wants." "Alex," Sarah sat beside me. "I know you loved her, but maybe this is a chance to finally let go." I laughed bitterly. Let go? She humiliated me in front of everyone I know. She parades him around like some trophy while they all laugh at me. "You think I can just let that go?" Sarah didn't answer. She just looked at me, sadness in her eyes. Later that night, Mark called. His voice was low. "Cautious. Double quotes, bro. You okay?" I let out a humorless chuckle. "Define okay." He sighed. "Listen, I know it hurts, but don't do anything stupid. Just move on." I gripped the phone tighter. Move on. While they dance on my name. No, I'm not going to move on. Not yet. "Alex," he started, but I cut him off. "Don't worry. I'm not going to throw punches or start a war. But I won't forget, and I won't forgive. She thinks I'll beg. She thinks I'll crawl back. But I'm done playing the weak one." There was silence on the line. Then Mark's voice, barely above a whisper. "Then what are you going to do?" I stared out the window, the city lights flickering like cold. "Stars, I don't know yet," I said slowly. "But when I do, they'll feel it." The days dragged on. Anna kept flaunting David, posting pictures, dropping hints designed to stab at me. And the worst part, people fed into it. Every like, every comment was another knife in my back. I told myself I didn't care. I told myself I was stronger. But late at night, when I was alone, the silence pressed down on me like a weight I couldn't shake off. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Her smile, his smirk, their laughter, my humiliation. Part of me wanted to disappear. Another part of me wanted to burn the whole world down. But then, somewhere between exhaustion and rage, a thought surfaced. What if I stopped reacting? What if I gave them nothing? No anger, no pain, no begging, just silence. Wouldn't it be worse for them? A plan began to take shape in my mind. Not a loud one, not a reckless one, a quiet, ruthless one. The first move. And as I drifted into uneasy sleep, I whispered the words that had become my lifeline. She thinks I'll beg, but she has no idea what's coming. Chapter 3. The first move. Silence. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I didn't even look at her posts anymore. Silence. That was my first move. At first, it felt strange. My hands twitched, wanting to type out angry words, long explanations, or maybe just a single question why. But I stopped myself every time. She wanted me to react. She wanted me to bleed where she could see it. So I gave her nothing. 3 days and Mark noticed. You okay, man? You've gone ghost. I shrugged. Better this way. He frowned. You really think ignoring her is gonna fix anything? It's not about fixing, I said flatly. It's about control. She expects me to chase her. If I don't, it eats at her. Mark didn't argue. He just gave me a look that said he wasn't sure if I was crazy or brilliant. At the gym, I caught Jake staring at me. He finally came over, smirking. Heard Anna and David are waiting for you to crawl back. How long you think you'll last? I wiped the sweat off my face and met his eyes. Longer than their relationship will. His smirk slipped, but he quickly covered it. We'll see. I could tell he wanted me rattled. But instead of yelling, I walked away. Silence again. That silence said more than any insult. By the end of the week, I started hearing things. Sarah pulled me aside one evening. Alex, something's weird. Anna asked me if you were okay. She seemed bothered. I raised an eyebrow. Bothered, yeah. She expected you to fight for her, to beg. And now, Sarah bit her lip. She thinks you're planning something. I almost laughed. Good. Let her wonder. The next weekend, I ran into them at a friend's gathering. I could feel the tension the second I walked in. Anna's eyes locked onto me immediately. She waited for me to look crushed, jealous, angry. But I didn't give her the satisfaction. Instead, I poured myself a drink, talked with Mark, laughed with Sarah, acted like she didn't even exist. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. She came over. Alex, she said, her voice low. Can we talk? I sipped my drink. About what? Her eyes narrowed. About us. I raised an eyebrow. There is no us. She flinched. You don't mean that. I met her gaze, steady and unshaken. I do. For a moment, her confidence cracked. But then David swaggered over, wrapping his arm around her waist. Everything good here? He asked, grinning. Perfect. I said calmly, then turned my back on them. That night, my phone lit up with a notification and a new post from Anna. A picture of her and David kissing under neon lights. Caption, some people don't know what they lost until it's gone. I stared at it for a long moment, then scrolled past. No likes, no comment, nothing. Silence. A few days later, Mark shook his head, chuckling. You know what's crazy? She keeps asking people about you. Pretend she doesn't care. But she does. You're driving her nuts, man. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Good. Silence wasn't weakness. It was power. Every second I ignored her, she was the one losing control. I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, the faint, city glow seeping through my curtains. This was just the beginning, the first move, and if silence alone could shake her this much, I couldn't wait to see what the second move would do. Chapter 4. The second move, reinvention asterisk silence, was the first step. Reinvention was the second. If she thought I'd stay broken, she was wrong. I started small, early mornings at the gym, cold showers, cutting out the junk food and late nights that once kept me sluggish. At first, it was brutal. My body ached. My mind screamed to quit, but the anger in my chest pushed me forward. Every rep, every drop of sweat felt like I was burning away the old me. Mark noticed first. "Bro," he said one morning as I racked the weights, "you're a machine now. What happened to you?" I smirked. "Pain happened." He laughed nervously. "Whatever it is, it looks good on you." At work, things shifted too. I stopped dragging my feet, stopped being the guy who blended into the background. I spoke up in meetings, started taking on projects no one else wanted. People began noticing. Even my boss pulled me aside one afternoon. "Alex," he said, adjusting his glasses, "I don't know what's gotten into you, but keep it up. You've changed." That word stuck with me. But the real test came when I saw Anna again. It was at a mutual friend's party, small gathering, just 20 people. I walked in wearing a fitted black shirt, the kind that showed the results of weeks at the gym. My hair was cleaner, sharper. I carried myself differently. Shoulders back, eyes steady. The room went quiet for a moment. When I entered, I heard whispers. "Is that Alex? Damn. He looks different." And then I saw her. Anna froze mid-sentence, her glass halfway to her lips. David glanced at me, then at her, his jaw tightening. I smirked inwardly. The silence between them was sweeter than anything I could have said. Later that night, as I was talking with Mark and Sarah, she approached me. "Alex," she said softly. I turned, calm, controlled. "Anna." Her eyes darted over me, lingering on the changes. "You look different." I tilted my head. "People change." For a moment, she seemed unsure of herself. Then she forced a smile. "I'm glad you're doing well." I gave a polite nod and turned back to Sarah mid-conversation, as if Anna had already left the room. I didn't need to insult her. My presence alone did it. The weak whispers spread, not about my humiliation anymore, but about me. Jake, the one who used to snicker, cornered me at the gym. "All right, man, what's your secret? You're killing it lately." I wiped sweat from my forehead. "Discipline." He laughed. "Come on, you trying to prove something?" I met his eyes. "Yeah." To myself. He went quiet. For once, no smirk. Then came the moment that sealed it. One evening, I met Lena. She wasn't flashy like Anna. No expensive makeup, no fake confidence, just a warm smile and eyes that actually saw me. We were introduced by Sarah at a casual hangout. Lena extended her hand. "So you're Alex. I've heard about you." I arched an eyebrow. "All bad, I assume," she laughed. "Not all, but enough to make me curious." There was no judgment in her tone, just genuine interest. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than anger. Over the next few weeks, Lena and I talked more. She didn't push, didn't pry. She just listened, and in her presence, I didn't feel like the broken guy everyone whispered about. One night, as we walked out of a diner, Anna saw us. She was with David, but the way her eyes widened told me everything. Her smile faltered. David pulled her closer, whispering something into her ear, but her gaze stayed locked on me and Lena, laughter spilling out of us like she'd never heard from me before. That was when I realized my second move was working. Reinvention wasn't about getting Anna back, it was about making her realize she lost something she could never have again. Later, Sarah texted me. "Anna asked about Lena. She's jealous, even if she won't admit it. Whatever you're doing, it's working." I stared at the message, a slow smile spreading across my face. Anna had chosen David, believing I'd crumble. Instead, I was rising. This wasn't revenge for revenge's sake. This was proof that I was never weak. And if silence had rattled her and reinvention had shaken her foundation, then the third move would break her completely. I looked at my reflection that night, stronger, sharper, unrecognizable from the man she mocked. I whispered to myself, steady and cold. She thought I'd beg, but I'm done begging. Now, it's her turn to break. Chapter 5. Their cracks begin to show. I didn't have to do much. Karma worked faster than I expected. It started with whispers. Sarah was the first to tell me, Alex. She said one afternoon, sliding into the booth across from me at the diner. Word is David isn't as loyal as Anna thought. I raised an eyebrow. Cheating already. Sarah leaned in, lowering her voice. Apparently, a couple girls said they've seen him at bars. Flirting, texting behind Anna's back. She doesn't know yet. I sip my coffee, hiding my smile. She will. The next weekend, I saw them together at another party. Anna clung to David's arm, laughing too loud, smiling too wide. It was forced, like she was trying to prove something. David, on the other hand, spent more time on his phone than with her. I stayed in the corner with Mark and Lena, quietly watching. Mark nudged me. You see it, right? They're not as solid as they pretend. Cracks. I murmured. They're showing. Later in the night, Anna made her move. She strutted over, with David trailing behind, clearly annoyed. Alex, she said sweetly. Too sweet. How are you? I smiled politely. Better than ever. Her eyes flicked to Lena beside me, who smiled back without fear. Anna's lips tightened, but she kept her composure. That's good, she said slowly. I'm glad you're moving on. I raised my glass. Glad you are too. David snorted. Don't pretend you don't care. We know you still think about her. I tilted my head, amused, funny. If that were true, you wouldn't feel the need to say it. His jaw tightened, his hand clenching at his side. Anna quickly tugged at his arm. David, let's go. But I'd already seen it, the insecurity in his eyes, the doubt in hers. That night, Sarah called me. You got under their skin, she said, almost giddy. Anna was furious after you left. She kept asking why you didn't even look jealous. And David, he was pissed. He thinks she's still hung up on you. I leaned back, grinning in the dark. Perfect. Days later, Jake cornered me at the gym. Yo, man, he said, looking uncomfortable. You hear about David? I wiped sweat from my forehead. What about him? He's been hitting on other girls. Everyone knows. Anna's the only one pretending it's fine. I smirked. Not my problem, but deep inside, it was satisfying watching her upgrade crumble piece by piece. The final confirmation came a week later. I was walking Lena home after dinner when Anna's car pulled up across the street. She rolled down the window, her expression stormy. Alex, she called out. I stopped, hands in my pockets. Anna. She glared at Lena, then back at me. Can we talk? Alone, Lena gave me a questioning look, but I shook my head. No need. Anna's voice cracked, sharper this time. You think you're better than me now, walking around like you won. He's not even serious about me. The words slipped out of her mouth before she realized. Her face went pale. I just stared at her. Calm. Controlled. Sounds like your problem, not mine. Her eyes watered, but pride kept her from breaking down in front of me. She slammed the window shut and drove off. Lena looked at me, wide-eyed. That was intense. I exhaled slowly. Cracks, I said again, almost to myself. Bigger every day. That night, lying in bed, I replayed her words. He's not even serious about me. Her perfect little castle was collapsing, and I hadn't lifted a single finger. The silence, the reinvention, it had been enough to turn her world upside down. But I wasn't finished. The third move was coming, and when it landed, there would be nothing left of her pride. Chapter 6. The third move. Exposure. It didn't plan on the third move being public, but sometimes fate hands you the stage. Jake's birthday party came around again, the same place it had all started. The irony wasn't lost on me. Last time, Anna had crushed me here. This time, I'd make sure the tables turned. I walked in with Mark and Lena at my side. People turned to look, no whispers of pity this time, only quiet recognition. I wasn't the same man who had been humiliated months ago. And then I saw them, Anna and David, standing near the drinks table. He was already half drunk, laughing too loud, his arm around her waist. She smiled, but it was brittle, like porcelain ready to crack. Ready? Mark asked quietly. I nodded. Time to end this. The opportunity came sooner than expected. A girl named Emily, someone I barely knew, stumbled over to me with her phone in hand. Alex, she whispered, you need to see this. On the screen were messages, David's messages, flirting, promising dates, sending late-night photos. Not to one girl, but to three. My jaw tightened. Where did you get this? Half the girls here know. Emily said, he's a snake. Anna's blind. I stared at the phone, a slow calm settling over me. This was at the third move, handed to me on a silver platter. Later in the night, the music dimmed and people gathered in the living room. Jake was opening gifts, laughter filling the air. Perfect moment, perfect audience. I stepped forward. Hey, can I say something? The room quieted. Dozens of eyes turned to me. David smirked. Anna folded her arms, already defensive. I raised my voice just enough. Last time I was here, I was humiliated, betrayed, laughed at. But tonight, I'm not the one on display. Murmurs rippled. David chuckled. Oh boy, here we go. Still crying. I pulled out Emily's phone. The messages glowing bright on the screen. Funny. I wonder if Anna knows about these. The room went silent. Anna frowned. What are you talking about? I walked over and held the phone out. Read them. Her eyes scanned the screen. Her face drained of color. David, what is this? David's cocky grin faltered. Babe, come on. Those are old, she snapped, her voice breaking. These are from last week. Gasps echoed around the room. People whispered, eyes widening. Sarah covered her mouth. Mark smirked knowingly. David reached for Anna's arm, but she yanked it away. You said you were different. You said, her voice cracked, you made me leave him for this. All eyes turned to me. I kept my voice calm, steady. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd stay weak. But the truth, I didn't need revenge. He destroyed himself. I just gave everyone the proof. Anna's eyes filled with tears. David's face twisted with rage. He tried to lunge toward me, but Mark stepped in, shoving him back. Not tonight, Mark growled. The room erupted laughter, disbelief, pity for Anna, mockery for David. The king and queen had fallen, their throne shattered in front of everyone. Anna stumbled back, staring at me with wet, trembling eyes. Alex, I shook my head. Don't, you made your choice. Now you can live with it. Her lips trembled, but no words came out. She turned and ran out of the room, the crowd parting around her like broken glass. David cursed, storming after her, but not before someone shouted, enjoy your downgrade, man. The laughter that followed cut deeper than any blade. Later, when the party thinned out, Sarah approached me. You really did it, she whispered. You broke them. I exhaled slowly, the weight lifting from my chest. No, they broke themselves. I just stopped protecting her from the truth. Mark clapped me on the shoulder. Ruthless. Bro, absolutely ruthless. And Lena, she just smiled softly, slipping her hand into mine. No judgment, no pity, just presence. On the walk home, I replayed Anna's face in my mind. Shock, regret, devastation. Once, that would have torn me apart. But tonight, it felt like justice. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd crawl back, broken and desperate. Instead, I stood tall while her world collapsed. The third move was complete, and she would never look at me the same again. Chapter 7, the confrontation. He thought it was over after the exposure. But I should have known Anna wouldn't go quietly. 2 nights later, she showed up at my apartment. No warning. just pounding on the door until I opened it. Her makeup was smeared, her hair a mess, eyes swollen from crying. She looked nothing like the girl who once stood smug beside David. Alex, she whispered, her voice breaking. Please, can we talk? I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. About what? About us. I almost laughed. There is no us. Her lip trembled. Don't say that. You don't mean it. Yes, I said coldly. I do. She stepped inside without waiting for permission, pacing like a trapped animal. I made a mistake, she said quickly. David, he lied. He used me. He never cared. You were the one who cared. You were the one who loved me. I stared at her, unmoved, and you threw that away. I didn't know what I was doing, she cried. I thought you were weak. I thought you'd never change. But look at you now, you're stronger. You're different. That's the man I wanted all along. My chest tightened, not with longing but with anger. So I had to be broken for you to finally notice me. That's what it took. She reached for my arm. Desperate, Alex, please, give me another chance. I'll fix it. I swear I'll fix it. I pulled my arm away. You can't fix what you shattered. Tears streamed down her face. I loved you. No, I said sharply. You loved what I gave you. My loyalty, my time, my heart. But when it stopped feeding your ego, you threw me away. She shook her head violently. That's not true. Then why did you smile when you chose him? I demanded. Why did you stand there, hand in hand with him, laughing at me, in front of everyone? You enjoyed my pain, Anna. Her knees buckled, and she sank onto the couch, sobbing into her hands. I was wrong, she whispered between gasps. So wrong. I thought you'd always be there, no matter what. I thought you'd beg, that you'd fight for me. I never thought you'd walk away. That's the problem, I said quietly. You never believed I could. The silence stretched. Only her sobs filled the room. Finally, she looked up, her eyes red and raw. Do you hate me? I hesitated. Did I? No. I said at last. I don't hate you. I don't feel anything for you anymore. That hurt her more than any insult could have. She flinched as if the words had struck her. Alex, she whispered, please, don't leave me alone. I shook my head. You left me long before I left you. Remember that, she broke again, sobbing uncontrollably. I stood there, calm, detached, watching the girl who once mocked me crumble before my eyes. Once, I would have given anything to hold her, to forgive her, to believe her. But that man was gone. Now, I felt only clarity. I walked to the door and opened it. Goodbye. Anna, she froze, staring at me with wide, broken eyes. Then, slowly, she stood, her body trembling. She walked past me without another word, disappearing into the night. I closed the door behind her and leaned against it. Exhaling. It was done. Mark called later that night, heard she showed up. What happened? She begged. I said simply, and I didn't break. There was a pause. Then Mark let out a low whistle. Damn. She never saw the coming. I glanced at my reflection in the dark window, my expression steady, unshaken. She thought I'd beg. I murmured. Turns out she was the one begging. Chapter 8 closure. At night after Anna left my apartment, I sat in silence. For the first time in months, the storm inside me was gone. No anger, no bitterness, no obsession, just quiet. She was out there somewhere, crying over choices she couldn't undo. But I wasn't the same man she left behind. The next evening, Lena called. Are you free? She asked softly. I hesitated, then smiled. Yeah, I am. We met at the park, just as the sun dipped low. The air smelled of rain, the world calm and heavy with quiet. She sat beside me on the bench. You look lighter, she said, studying my face. I feel lighter. I admitted. Her eyes searched mine. Did you get the closure you needed? I nodded. She begged. She cried. But I didn't break. I didn't want revenge anymore. I just wanted to know I wasn't weak. And now, I exhaled. I know. Lena's lips curved into a small smile. Good. You deserve peace. Silence settled between us. Not heavy, not awkward, just peaceful. For a long time, I thought closure meant getting her back, proving I was worth it. But now I saw the truth. Closure wasn't about her at all. It was about me finally walking away. She thought I'd beg. I murmured, almost to myself. Lena tilted her head, and I looked at her, steady and calm. But I never needed her. I just needed to wake up. Later, as we walked through the quiet streets, I felt something shift. Once, Anna's hand had been the only one I wanted to hold. But now, Lena's hand slipped into mine, and it felt right. No games, no cruelty, just presence. For the first time, I wasn't chasing someone. I wasn't proving myself. I was just being me, and that was enough. A few days later, Mark stopped by. He leaned against my doorframe with a grin. So, rumor is Anna's a mess. David ditched her completely. People are saying she can't even show her face without breaking down. I shrugged. That's her burden to carry. Mark studied me, then nodded slowly. You really changed. Man, ruthless when you needed to be, but stronger now. I smiled faintly. Not ruthless, just on being weak. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling one last time. My mind wasn't replaying the betrayal anymore. No more endless questions. No more burning rage. Just peace. I whispered into the stillness. A quiet promise to myself. Never again. Anna thought my silence would mean defeat. She thought my reinvention was temporary. She thought exposure would break me as much as it broke her. But in the end, she was wrong about everything. The truth was simple. I didn't need her forgiveness. I didn't need her love. I didn't need her at all. All I needed was to finally let go. And I did.